consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spots that activate your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Hello, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm so honored for you to choose to listen to this show. We have a very powerful, juicy episode today. And if you do really resonate with it, it activates you, I would love for you to share this episode out on social media. You can tag me on Instagram, it's Bold Sexy Warrior. And on Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung Coaching Bold Sexy Warrior. In fact, my loves, I am also very excited because it is Leo season, and that means I'm a true Leo. My birthday is in a few days as we record this episode, and it's August 7th. And you'll definitely want to be following me if you're not already and tuning in on social media, because I have a very, very epic surprise for you all, a very special surprise. So it's also the month of mine and Dan's, my sexy silver fox's 15th wedding anniversary, August 12th, which is the last day of the Lionsgate portal. And it's a very potent time right now to really take aligned action. If you don't know what the Lionsgate portal is, please do go check out my new YouTube channel, Rosalyn Fung, or even on Instagram. All the links are there, and a Bold Sexy Warrior, because I do talk more about it. So, my loves, let's tune in here. Today's episode is going to be, like I said, very powerful. Let me ask you this. What exactly is the pillar of light? You know, we have heard about this, but some of us are like, okay, like really, what's so special about it? What exactly is it? And how does it help with healing? And those of you who are healers, how does the pillar of light amplify your spiritual superpowers? Well, today I have with me one of my soul brothers, a special guest, Jeffrey Saunders, who is known as the Canadian healing medium. As a young boy, Jeffrey grew up being made to feel that he was different from the rest, being treated poorly by the teachers and bullies due to his ADHD. He also then at home had to deal with verbal abuse from a father who was not emotionally available, leaving him as a child, teenager, and adult with no hope of self-worth or self-love. Today, after years of battling his way through multiple suicide attempts, multiple addictions, and near-death experiences that change his life, he's now giving back and healing those who reach out to him physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Whoo! Welcome, Jeffrey.
Well, thank you for having me today. It's an honor. I literally, if we were on camera right now, you would see all the hairs from the energy of just listening to you at the beginning, just exploding for me. So excited to be here with you today. So thank you for asking me. And also happy birthday soon.
Thank you, love.
Right? And congratulations on your anniversary right away. So happy to hear that.
Thank you. I always love August, so it is very special. And I love that I get to share this episode with you at the start of Leo's, during Lionsgate portal. Can't make that shit up. So, right? Like, you guys,
Yeah,
we
no.
are in for a powerful healing, and all the light codes are going to drop in from the Pillar of Light with Jeffrey here. You're going to feel his vibes if you don't already. Oh, my love. Okay, so tell us a little, because I mean, whew, you have been on a journey, and I'm
Mm.
sure you could speak about your story for quite a while. And if you can share with us a bit of your journey from where you, like how you got to be who you are and do what you do today. How did you discover your gifts?
Well, we all have a story, right? And we all have great purpose within us. And it takes a lot of work for us to reach the alignment to the being within us of the pureness of that light. And, as you already stated, going through those years as a child, always being separated from the students, made to feel that I was so different, and then going home and not feeling that love. And really, through those childhood years of going through all that, that is the crucial time for our molding of who we are and what we have to do moving forward in our lives. So I really suffered as a child in those ways. Now, unfortunately, the first time I tried to take my life was at the age of 12, right?
Wow.
Because I didn't like how I felt. Being where I'm at today, I understand the pureness of the light of who I am, was really suffering with feeling those lower frequency of energies that we come here to actually live through, of that contrast, right? So going through that, going through the addictions and really suffering, I started my healing journey. That's when it all started at the age of 17, reaching out for outside help, because we only know what we know. We do not know anything else until we go through personal experiences to learn, grow, and evolve, right, to help us on our path. So my healing journey started at the age of 17, and it took 25 years here now, where I'm still constantly working on my life, but have healed everything from my past. So, going through, there's 7 spiritual experiences that I went through in my life that transformed my life to not have severe depression anymore, or depression, not having panic attacks and severe anxiety all of my life, not needing medications anymore, severe ADHD. I overcame all of it. None of it is a part of my life anymore. And there were 7 experiences that I went through.
Yes, and I know that you wrote a whole blog post, which will be in the show notes, where you can connect with Jeffrey, because we won't be able to go through all 7.
No.
But absolutely, please do touch on some of those if you feel like, for the parts where you feel right now our listeners are really needing to hear.
Sorry, you cut out. What was that? Sorry?
Oh, okay. So maybe we weren't supposed to hear that. We were just joking. We were just talking about, before going on air, how weird tech stuff happens to Jeffrey. I should say for Jeffrey. It probably means your guys are so powerful that the tech can't handle it. That's a thing. I've experienced that too before. Actually, like my first episode that I was supposed to go live on my radio show. The whole system crashed, so we couldn't have it on that day. So anyway, at least we're live right now. So I was just sharing, please continue your story, but if you feel called in your story, share some of those 7 spiritual experiences that are really important for what you're feeling our listeners need to hear right now. We'd love for you to share that.
So the biggest thing, I'll just go right to 3 years ago, where the massive change happened for me, and it was a near-death experience of my body stopping breathing and going through this experience of my last suicide attempt in my life of deep suffering. And what actually happened in a very beautiful way of what I have learned is, when we are suffering in any way, it is from the consciousness of our human mind that is suffering. It is the unhealed parts that need to be healed energetically, that transformed my life. So actually what happened was there was no stoppage of time. It just shifted from pain and suffering in my mind of not wanting to be alive to then shifting when my body stopped breathing to the aliveness of my light being within my physical body. And the beautiful thing is I got to learn how it feels being in my physical body, almost like a coffin, and shifting and kind of moving around where I'm fully awake, I'm fully alive. But then right away I said, God, I don't want to die. I said, but can you show me the other side? So then I went through a beautiful experience of like a portal window opening and seeing all these beautiful lights and chandeliers and just really staring at it. And then coming back to my body, I could hear my mom calling me, or thinking she was, but that is what brought me back to my body. My body started trying to breathe again. I could feel everything starting to happen. And the power of the light being of who I am, and God, of just feeling the shock in my body to like breathe. So when that happened, I was actually given a gift. I can see through the dimensions that are around us, and really understanding in my life in the last 3 years of growing and understanding frequency and energy and dimensions and how they're all interlaced with one another. So I started seeing light beings walking around me in my place. And I actually thought I was dead, to be honest with you, right away. It took me a little bit to realize, no, I'm still alive, but I can see animals and beings of different light just walking around and observing. And they're always around us, always. When you feel that brush of energy and you're doing dishes or something, you can feel your arm get energy, right? You get goosebumps. There's a being next to you, whether it could be a loved one or someone who just admires you and watching, observing, not in a creepy way. So I was given this gift to understand the work I had to do in giving back here, and I have to be able to see them. So I started working with different beings, started coming into my life, and I started working with different archangels, Jesus, ascendant masters, high council beings of light that give us our permission to come in on our contract and live our life. So I started working, and I can see them in front of me, and they just shift back and forth in front of me to answer yes and no. So that was the first thing on who I work with and how I'm learning and teaching. We can all do this because I'm nothing more special than anyone else. We're all the same, right? We all have the same gifts. And it's just my purpose to share on the things that I continue to learn and grow. So that was the first thing on what I was gifted with to do the work that I am doing here today. The second one was actually I went to a spiritualist church. A very dear friend of mine, Jeanette Byro, she's an amazing medium. She told me to go there and they can help guide me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing all these spirits trying to figure things out. Like, this is an overload of like, oh my God, right? And when that started happening. So what I learned there, one of the great things was the pillar of light and the power of the pillar of light that will stream down into our bodies and come out of our hands. And anytime we work with energy anyways, it's going to come from our hands. It's almost like, because I can see the light coming from my hands, it's like an eyeball in the center and all your fingers, and light comes from all of it. So they actually heal people there. They were healing people at the beginning, and you just sit in a chair, they put their hands on you, and that's what they were doing. They were drawing in this pillar of light. And I'm like, it kind of upset me, not in a bad way towards anyone, but I'm like, why is this not being taught publicly? We have Reiki energy, and it's been growing in the most beautiful way of understanding energy, but why is no one teaching publicly just about the pillar of light? So I took it upon myself to learn with the higher beings and teaching me on what to do. They actually had a program there as well. I think it was about 2 months to understand, to working with your healing guide, working with you, and to try to, get it all going for a person if they get up to a place of really deep connection. So I grew really, really fast with it, really fast. And I've been working with this light energy, pretty much for just over 2 years now. And I was working with it almost daily for months. So I put this course together, and I am teaching It's through the intention of a direct pillar of light coming from our source of energy. So whatever a person chooses to call that, you are perfect for what you want to call that, from God or the universe, whatever, it does not matter. So when you draw this powerful light, you can actually amplify the frequency of it, and you can continue to amplify the frequency and then also amplify the vibration. So for my beautiful friends who are into Reiki energy, and I've had lots of Reiki masters take my class and become even more powerful with understanding this knowledge, with healing and giving back. And everything I do is through distant healing. So I've been healing people worldwide, of instantly healing them of depression, PTSD, anxiety, shame and guilt, hate that they carry, and I use the pillar of light while I am guiding them through a process that I have put together in my 2-hour transformational healing sessions. And then I have my class online once a month where I have up to 10 students, and I teach the pillar of light. They go through an experience. I guide them to the direct source of it. There's actually four steps. The first one I get them to do is understanding presence. You need to understand your being of light within.
We're going to actually leave people on the cliffhanger because we got to go to commercial soon. But I feel like I was really trying not to interrupt because I'm just like, oh my God, I have so many questions. So the first download, it's not so much a question as a download when you shared, why is this not being taught publicly? I just got the download. You're the one. You're the one that's meant to put it out into the world, and you're beautifully are doing so. So that's the answer. But also, when we come back from commercial, I feel like we could even dissect this a little bit more with the steps around how is this different than Reiki energy? How's the pillar of light different than Reiki energy? Okay, so we'll be back.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
My loves, you know you're here as a soul-led leader to transform this world through the sharing of your passions and gifts. You are here to be in your warrior of light and align your business with your highest self. I'm Rosalyn Fung of the show Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. Let's elevate your business to the next expansive level. I invite you to flow into a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalynfung.com. That's ROSALYN, fun as in have some fun, FUNG, and let's see how I can best hold space for you to align your highest self, magnetize your dream clients, and monetize on your soul mission. I can't wait to connect.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Do you feel like your emotions are all over the place? That's normal during this abnormal time. There are a number of ways to cope. Maintain a healthy routine, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, and exercise at least 30 minutes each day. Schedule some time to talk with a friend or family member. And remember, you can always take a few deep breaths to feel more centered.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Okay, welcome back. So I hope that you are all on the edge of your seats. You're like, what were those 4 points? So we are actually going to start with just having Jeffrey define, how is the pillar of light different than Reiki energy?
Okay, so and again, when it comes to this stuff, there's nothing better than the other. It serves a different purpose. Right? So
good clarification.
Right, yeah, because nothing is better than the other in any experience that we go through. They're all meant to learn and grow from each one, and there's something beautiful from every single experience we will go through. I don't even see in all the negative things I lived through my past. I only have love for all of it because I understand as now I live through the being of light within me, and I have these deep understandings because when we do the healing work, we understand when we reach to this place, right, of understanding. So when it comes to the difference between the two, and I actually on my YouTube channel, the Canadian Healing Medium, on there, I have different testimonies from students who have taken my class and different Reiki masters. And the difference through the higher beings that I work with on teaching me is Reiki energy is the beautiful energy within this dimension. It is a universal energy within this dimension. The dimensions that we come from at a much higher frequency, we are at a much lower frequency from where we are all living right now and going through this beautiful human experience that we're experiencing. They've learned to harness the energy in this frequency of this energy of dimension. When you're drawing from the pillar of light, you are literally going through dimensions, going up through frequency, connecting to your source of energy, and it is streaming direct into your body at a much faster and higher rate of energy. So that is the difference I've been told between the two with the work that I do with the beings that I work with on trying to explain that difference.
You explained that difference so well. Thank you so much for that clarity. And we'll move into those 4 points that you started to talk about, please.
Yeah, so there are 4 steps to reach and understand, to connect to this beautiful energy that I put my students through in class. And the first one is understanding presence. We need to understand who our inner body of light actually is, who you truly are in your physical body. So it's understanding being present in the moment. That is when our soul's consciousness is fully alive, right? When we are present. You know, Rosalyn, when we're out looking at the stars or you're on the mountaintop, you're at that view and you're looking around, you are fully immersed in that moment without thinking about what you have to do tomorrow or what was being said to you the day before. You are not in that space. You are fully aligned to presence of that moment, and you feel that aliveness during those states, right? So that is the first step that I get them to go through in an exercise. The second one that I get them to go through is understanding now your body of energy within your physical body. So again, I guide them to complete relaxation of their physical self, and then they get to start shifting and feeling their own energy within their physical body moving around as I guide them on how to do it. So that's the beautiful part that I got from my near-death experience, is fully understanding who I actually am in this meat suit of a body, right? So once you understand the second step of who you truly are, then I bring you to the third step, which is very simple, and that's grounding ourselves, right? So a lot of people, it might have different ways, but for me, it's just shooting a line of energy to the core of the earth, wrapping itself around the core of the earth, and then tightening that line. So now you can take on the higher frequency of energy, because if you are not grounded, you're not going to be able to take on the energy successfully to the maximum of what you can obtain. So it's very important for grounding. The fourth one is very important, and that's working a muscle in your mind. There is a very simple exercise to work this muscle, and what you do when you go through this exercise, I don't want to give everything away because it's in my class. But
that's
we
right. People got to tune in for that.
You gotta take my class, and I will show you. And this is for either Reiki masters or new learners who just want to learn energy and to connect and to heal with this. So I put them. So once we go through those 4 steps, then I have a recorded guided meditation where I will bring you up to the pillar of light to enter your body. You go through a very deep experience of connection, and a lot of people sometimes get very emotional because it's all on webcam through Zoom, and we see all my students are connecting with one another because they share, and that's one of the biggest things is sharing. I'm huge on sharing information. When we all learn from one another through personal experiences of truth, of our personal experiences, there is so much value. I'm getting major goosebumps of energy even saying that. There is so much value when we share with one another, right?
1000%. That's why community is so important. And
It's
I
so
know
important.
your courses are all about, it's like an activation container, right? And you're in this together and you're amplifying in that energy together. Like, whoa, that's potent. That's so potent.
But we all have to be in similar spaces for where we're at on our path to learn with one another. Otherwise, if a person hasn't had personal experiences yet, or the healings that they need to overcome the past that they're still suffering from, then they're not going to align with us who are not better than, but who have evolved to the space where we can all evolve to, right? So going through that, then what I actually do is you learn, and I pair up my students, and they will send energy from one another, and they will all understand the power of this energy and then how to amplify it. There's actually Archangel Azrael is a part of my class, and all my students go through a personal experience of a physical contact with him, of understanding their presence. Because I'm gifted to see their energy around me, I understand what it feels like to touch, and I understand what it feels like to guide people to this knowing of that, right? So I actually use the angelic realm of angelic beings to amplify me. And they amplify your energy to very, very high levels that can actually cure the incurable. And I know that's a very strong statement to say, but I've actually done it to myself, where doctors don't know how to explain how I was covered in skin tags from head to toe, thousands of them, and it was horrible. This was 2 years ago, and I went to different specialists. They said, there's nothing we can do but to burn them off, and they keep growing. And I was horrified because I thought, who's ever going to want me now? Right? We go through that when we have that. So when I started learning using this energy, within 4 to 6 weeks, I didn't realize they completely disappeared off all of my body. And the doctors don't know how to explain how they just went away, right? They just don't go away.
Wow.
And that's the power of when I'm using this energy. It's actually running through me and purifying my cells in my body and healing me at the same time, right? So they go through. So my students go through that. And they go through these experiences in my class, and I have different exercises that we do, and to really show them the truth and how to connect to healing.
That's really powerful. And when you're running your courses, and anytime you're calling in Pillar of Light, I assume that the beings come in and you can see them. They're here. Are they guiding you and sharing with you what the next steps are? How does that work?
Well, just on my path of continuing my purpose, all we have to do with all of us, and it's for all of us, do with what feels right in that moment. Things will be placed on our path and will unfold at the right time. You do not need to worry or stress on the future, what's to come, right? It's always just aligning to whatever feels right for me to do today. I listen to how I feel, because our feelings and the energy that moves through us, called emotions, when we understand that on a deep level, that is our inner guidance system that is guiding us, right? So all the time.
I know the question though, Jeffrey. I'm going to go here because I know one of our listeners, there's going to be someone out there going, yeah, but how do I trust what I feel? Like, how can I tell, like, this is an ego versus this is intuition?
Well, when it comes to that, you're not thinking, you're feeling. So does it feel right? Are you thinking, try to put this in the right way here. I've just been working and talking about feelings and emotions since the time I was 17. So it comes so naturally to me, right? The best thing I can tell, okay, here's the best thing that is coming to me to share. When you had a gut feeling about someone you were going to date, but you didn't listen to it, right? You went through personal experiences. The personal experiences of what you went through train you and teach you to listen to how you feel, right? So now when I get red flags, even with dating, I listen to how I feel at the red flags that are coming to me, right? I'm listening to how I feel. This doesn't feel right, right? Because I've had experience in the past that have trained me in my life to teach me the difference between the two, right? So we're all on our own path of learning this, right? And it's going to happen in different ways for each of us, right?
Yes.
Different perceptions.
Yeah. And I want to speak into that because that's a great analogy. And so sometimes we get triggered. And obviously when we get triggered, that doesn't feel right. So it's really being even more conscious. And this is why we both talk about the importance of doing personal and spiritual development, that the triggers are actually the medicine, right?
Yeah.
And when we're triggered, it's going, okay, something here doesn't feel right. And that could mean, okay, you got more work to do. And that's a gift to have that trigger.
Yeah.
Or it's going, woo, here's a power test and I get to pass this. I get to master this. And this is an opportunity to not be living and behaving in the behaviors, the patterns that haven't been serving and supporting me anymore. And I get to shift into a different way to respond right now from this place of alignment, of love, of neutrality. So that's how I'd like to also just add my 2 cents in there.
Yeah, because it's such a beautiful gift when we're at the space to understand that, okay, for us to really look at ourselves, right, when we see these trigger points. Because the higher we go, and I feel it so much in my life now, the higher we go of frequency to the pureness of our inner light, the more love, joy, and happiness we feel. So
1,000%.
living in that, living in that contrast of suffering that I have lived through and others that have lived through, when you understand that, there's a huge contrast to the pureness of who you actually are. So when we have these triggers, it truly shows, okay, I'm having this trigger right now. I'm really frustrated and angry. It's because you need to heal something of the past. You need to heal an experience you went through because there is still energy. And that's what I do in my sessions on healing people, in my 2 hours transformational healing session, is we go through your entire life while I keep amplifying the frequency of this beautiful energy through your body. We go through your entire life of all the experiences that were done to you. People are very vulnerable when they come to me. They have to be on sharing everything, the shame and guilt of the things you've done in your life. There is healing that has to happen here of our past. When we heal the stuff in the past, we do not have these triggers moving forward. And this is how I see it through my experiences of healing in my life.
I'm going to just repeat what you just shared. So I want to invite you listeners to really breathe this in. When you heal the triggers of the past, you won't be triggered moving forward when you truly heal. So that's really powerful.
You have to be vulnerable. You have to, otherwise you will keep this wall up, and that wall is going to keep you with lower energy that is a part of your life experiences that will hold you back and have boundaries for what you can manifest into your life because you do not feel worthy of it. Because you need to heal. You have to of the past.
Let me speak into this too. Like right now, as we're recording this live, I notice I'm feeling the density of the collective. There's something going on, and I just wrote a post right before we went on live about who else is feeling this collective density. And I just noticed that there is a whole bunch of people saying, oh, that explains why I'm feeling so funked up. And so I'm curious, Can you speak more into how the pillar of light can support us to not, maybe to protect ourselves more, if that even, like, tell us a little bit more if that relates.
Well, when it comes to using the pillar of light, you can use it for anything, to be honest with you. I'm growing more and more in different ways, and I can't even really share about them right now because they haven't happened, and people would think I'm crazy. So but it's my purpose that I strive, and I will continue doing it to prove more of who we are with my life.
Yes.
And this is why I'm still alive after all those suicide attempts. There's no way that I should even be still alive, but I was made to not leave here.
That's
I had to survive
you have a big mission.
To be here, with you today. So when we use the pillar of light, I had one beautiful friend actually, because I actually have a Sunday group for it continued on for my students, and we have 1 hour on Sundays, and we continue to grow and expand the muscle in our mind to reach us to the higher frequencies. And the work that we can do. I'm just trying to think. I have so many things going through my mind right now. I'm really trying to narrow down on one thing here. It's the emotional aspect. So if you're going through and you need emotional healing, the energy will run through you and flush through you into Mother Earth, right? Gaia will come up and be a part of that as well. But it is the power to overcome all darkness. So it will flush out through your energy field. When it comes to actually me doing, my sessions with people, I've healed. There's a man who had 3 physical healings in Ohio, and I have a ton of different video testimonies on my channel too of people from around the world that worked with me.
Beautiful.
One man, it was very beautiful because he had 3 different experiences with me. The first one was actually he just jumped on a live I did of doing a healing. And he was in physical pain for 3 weeks laying in his bed. He could not move. He just caught the glimpse of it, closed his eyes, connected with me, and we will go through this together as an experience here shortly.
Beautiful.
And he instantly felt something shift and move in his back, and he stood up, no pain, completely gone. We did another one. We did a set. He reached out to me after that one for a one-on-one with me. And this is the physical, obviously, aspect of healing using this power. He had plantar fasciitis for the last 2 years. We sat down. He was on webcam laying at home because I always have people laying at home. Typically, they're on the comfort of their own bed when we do my sessions in an open space where they feel comfortable. And he felt 2 hands almost go on his back and push down on a certain spot in his back. And he stood up, and for the first time in 2 years, the pain was gone. And he wasn't suffering from, right? The third one is the really good one that I mean, they're all important.
You mean it gets better? Like, wow. Of course it does.
I've worked up to the third one here. So the third one, he actually had some form of a mass basically growing in his rectum, and he was having a hard time using the washroom. And he went to a specialist, and he went to the doctor, and he couldn't use the washroom. It was a couple weeks. And so he called me. He's like, Jeff, I'm really scared it could be cancer. So I don't know yet. I don't know anything. I'm seeing a specialist tomorrow. He's like, man, would you do a session with me today? And I told him, I said, of course. We become really good friends at this point. And I said, okay. So we did a healing session. He went through a beautiful experience because when there's archangels that are a part of my healing sessions. So I get you to understand your inner body, and you can feel them touching your hand and the power of their light connecting with yours through when I do this for people. He went to the specialist the next day. He woke up, actually, used the washroom, had no problem, no pain. Went to the specialist, nothing was there. Went to a second specialist, nothing was there. Overnight, the energy of the high frequency energy, it sits in the areas of where you are suffering. And a lot of times when people wake up in the morning, it's completely gone. Right. And I have a lot of other people with written testimonies on. If you go to my actual webpage, scroll to the bottom.
We will have that in the show notes. Yes.
Right. There's 60 written testimonies of ending PTSD, depression, anxiety, that aspect, the emotional aspect. I heal using high frequency energy, but I do a lot of my my inner being's consciousness comes to its fullness when I'm in my sessions, because my eyes are closed and my inner being is speaking, doing all the work to heal that person who is there. But they have to be vulnerable with me. They have to desire the connection. When we do this connection here shortly, we have to, the person has to desire the connection with me, or it's not going to work. Right?
Thank you so much for sharing all that. And Jeffrey, we for sure will have it in the show notes so people can go and check out your links and the testimonials, because that's very powerful. All right, my loves, we will be back we're going to move into commercial. When we come back, we're going to go right into experiencing Jeffrey's Pillar of Light magic.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Okay, my loves, welcome back. So Jeffrey, we are going to go right into the experience of the Pillar of Light. So invite you to just guide us in. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, well, I have so much energy moving through me. I'm so excited to do this right now live. So the first thing I always say, especially right now doing this on radio for people who are listening, please do not be driving while I am doing this. You can listen to the replay. It's still going to work in the replay. The higher frequencies are recorded into the audio. It won't be as strong as connecting with me now live, but for all the people who are listening live right now, if you want to participate for the next 8-9 minutes here, I will put you through this very beautiful experience, but you have to desire this connection, and you have to want to connect with me. Your inner body of light will then connect with me and absorb the energy I am putting out, okay? So anything that's going to distract you, please shut off. So if you're just lucky, if your phone's on silent, make sure there's no distractions. And now I want you seated in a nice relaxed position, or laying on a bed, wherever you are is fine. And I would like you to close your eyes. Setting the intention is very important. So setting the intention, you are inhaling the highest frequency of light energy. So you need to desire and want that. So as you take in your first deep breath, nice and slowly, inhaling that higher frequency of light energy. And then as you exhale, nice and slowly, breathing out all unwanted energy not serving your highest good. I want you to do this 5 or 6 times, please. Now I want you to bring, as you're doing this, all of your attention and all of your awareness to how it feels with each breath in and each breath out. If your mind starts wandering to think, just come back to focusing on how it feels with the air of energy as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just being aware and observing the feeling. Now around your eyes, your cheeks and forehead, I want you to relax the muscles in your face. And then down your neck to your shoulders, relaxing all the muscles, adjusting your neck if need be. Now down your arms, to your hands, to your fingertips. Just being aware and observing the relaxation of your physical body. And now down your back, releasing and letting go of all tension down your back. And then down your legs, to your feet, to your toes. From head to toe, feeling complete relaxation of your physical body. And now coming back to your breath, being aware and observing the feeling as the air enters your lungs and leaves your lungs. Now I am connecting myself to the pillar of light is streaming through me. You have to want and desire this connection from me, and you will connect with me. So I want you to visualize and see the top of your crown, your head, opening up nice and wide, that you truly desire and want to feel this beautiful energy. And now it is leaving me, coming to each of you who is participating right now. I'm calling in Archangel Michael to shift in next to us, so you will feel a shift of energy if you're aware of the energy around you, and placing a blue dome of protection so no other energies interfere. And just start being aware and feeling the energy entering the top of your head, moving down your neck, down your arms, your legs, your feet, and just being aware and observing without any thought. Notice now I'm going to turn up the frequency even higher and higher and higher from me to you. And again, just being aware and observing as I turn up the frequency even higher and higher and higher, and moving through you, just to feel a beautiful experience today. If you are suffering in any physical pain or suffering, you can direct this energy now to where you are suffering. If you are suffering with emotional pain, you can set the intention that the energy is going to go to your heart space and healing you today. And again, I'm just going to turn up the frequency even higher and higher and higher. Now I'm going to turn up the vibration of this frequency even higher and higher and higher, and running through you. And again, it's just being aware and observing the feeling without any thought. And just take a moment now, allowing this beautiful energy to move through you, the pureness of light energy of who we are in fullness. So I wasn't expecting this. So I actually have Jesus next to me, and he's actually going to amplify through me even more, and it's making me very emotional. So now we are going to increase this beautiful energy to each of you, and moving through me as I turn up the frequency even higher and higher and higher. And just taking a moment and allowing yourself to feel the energy moving through you. I want to say, as you're laying there connecting with me, I'm very grateful and humbled to be a part of your life today. It is with great honor for me to be sharing this with each of you, because it is your birthright to understand it is just energy that has been kept away from us And we can all learn how to connect, to heal. And once more, we are going to turn up this frequency even higher and higher and higher. And just being aware of the energy within you as I turn up the vibration even more and more and more. And just for 30 more seconds or so, just feeling this beautiful energy of who you are and working through you. And it's always giving thanks anytime we connect, feeling that gratitude. This connection is always here for all of us. This beautiful energy flowing through you is always here. It has never left you. And just feeling that love that moves through you, that is so powerful to heal everything. So now giving thanks to all the great beings that were around supporting Michael and Jesus for the two, and all the other beings that are around us. And slowly the light starts drifting away, feeling peace and calmness. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, wiggling your fingers and toes, taking in a nice deep breath in, feeling the aliveness of who you are, and coming back to this space.
Actually, we'll just hang out here and I'm going to embody this a little bit more, expand it a little bit more with light language. Here we go. Moro koratia nene koratia. Nyerakia korati karatuarakia manakatua. Morokura kura tiara kia moroku ane ne kia kara tuara kia nana kara tia nana kia morokura tia kura tia nana kura tia nana kia. Breathing in and breathing out. Just hanging out with the sensations. Noticing what you notice. There's no right or wrong. You may feel tingling. You may feel lightness, like something's lifted. You might feel more solid in your core. You might feel certain body parts fluttering or shaking. All is good. It's your body's way to respond to this beautiful divine energy. Morakira koratia, nanakia marakoratia. So it is. Breathing in and an exhaling out. And when you're ready, just very slowly and gently start to bring your awareness back into your space. When you're ready, if your eyes were closed, start to open them. Have a soft gaze, might be a bit bright. Wow, thank you so much, Jeffrey. That was so powerful. I felt the energy, I felt it coming through, and felt like lightness for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm experiencing some back pain. Threw my back out about a month ago. And I was intentionally sending it to that.
Good.
As well as feeling the collective density right now. I've intentionally sent it to my heart and protected my own aura. Ooh, Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to this as well, if a person truly wanted to feel this, the only reason why, if you didn't feel, is because you're carrying shame and guilt from your past that you have not healed yet. You do not feel worthy of the higher frequencies of light. I've spent 200 to 300 hours in hell of learning and growing and healing those beings to understand why they're all, well, we know why we would go there, but typically it's because you do not feel worthy of the higher frequency of light, so you cannot feel, you might feel peacefulness and whatnot, but each person knows on their path that they're holding on to a lot of pain from the past, so it blocks them from feeling higher energy. But even with my 2-hour transformational healing session, this is what my session is designed for. It will bring you back to the pureness of your light, of feeling the higher frequencies of energy. When I work with people, they feel the energy by the end but it's all up to them. They have to be vulnerable with sharing their past as a child and teenager, and they have to share and bring to surface all the hurt and pain that they've caused others or what was done to them, and the energy heals them throughout the session.
So powerful. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
So go to check Jeffrey out, the Canadian Medium Healer.
Or the Canadian Healing Medium.
Sorry, the Canadian Healing Medium. You can find them on all the show notes and social media. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. And thanks, JC, for making an appearance. Oh my gosh.
Yes, right?
Oh, so powerful. Thank you, love.
Thank you.